check. Just going live, just checking. Can you hear me? All right.
Paper thin truths that crumble like ash. Golden thrones built on stolen cash. We raise our fists, we break the mold. Your house of cards is getting old. Static hums, the wires ignite. Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight. This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud. We won't quit. This is some bullshit.
All right. Almost there. What's happening? Hit the like, everybody. About to get started. So, yeah, it's been a long night and a long day and lots of stuff. And hi, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Still not in the upstairs space yet. There will be a time lapse video of that rebuild coming very shortly. You can see where I have actually made, see I don't know if you see it, the blue bags in the background. If you're on vertical, you can't, but trust me, it's there. Those are empty now. That's I've been like going through those and uh there's a still a I'll show you here. This is this is some you understand? The struggle is real. I'm just saying this is that's it's a teensy tiny teensy little bit of it. But I will hold on. Let me bring the chat room in, the greatest chat room in the history of chat rooms. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Hi guys. Why is the chat? The camera should be on this thing. Hold on one second. And switch to there. Yeah, there you go. And then this same thing should be on this one. And why do I bother hooking up another camera if it's just going to revert back to the other one? This is madness, I tell you. Hello. Mitch is dead as far as I'm concerned. Well, I mean, I guess his political career, certainly. Um, I think we can all agree that the chances of him coming back to the Senate and the chances of him actually voting on anything are fairly slim. Um, there is a bit of a back and forth over whether Blanche will have the votes without him and whether Lindsey Graham's sister will ultimately vote for Blanche. And if that might, one of the reasons why some of the people like Tillis and you know why they might feel comfortable kissing Trump's ass a little and let him get out of committee is because they know he's not going to actually make it, and they're like, he did what I asked him to, and therefore. But we'll see what we'll see. And again, a lot of this, I got to tell you, kids, I'm hearing a lot of like bitching about the state of the world. This, whatever the 90th time there's been an Iranian last chance or some nonsense, and then we're back at this again. Literally tonight is the last chance of what are we at 58, 59? The 59. Um, died to save one. Anybody? Anybody in the chat room know what that is? Okay. Um, so there's a bunch of people, especially in the Kyle Kuklinski crowd, that are kind of like raging about these kind of things when in fact they did just about everything they could to undermine, Biden and Harris's chance and shave off as many votes as they want, as if there was it was a coin flip, and that's why we find ourselves where we are. Um, Again, I feel like the woman who screamed at his election, that's become a meme over the years, is proven more and more right by the day. If anything, I feel like Tucker Carlson should have that woman on to talk about how wrong he was to mock her and her response to Trump getting elected. Period. Now, that said, let me put this up here. That said, there's obviously votes that can go our way and votes that can go wrong and all that kind of stuff. But most of this is teed up based on the votes until January. Um, and the question also becomes, do do Republicans, if they vote in Blanche, for example, or they pass the Save America Act and some of the stuff goes into effect, do they lose more seats in the House and possibly more seats in the Senate, specifically because in the case of the Save America Act, they disenfranchise a bunch of Republican voters, and then in the case of Blanche, all the Epstein files, you know conservatives, the ones who actually thought Trump was going to release the files, do they tell him to go pound sand? Right? Does that drive them away from the polls? It's really the only factor that sort of matters in this, other than Democratic turnout. And today, I think there's primaries in, is it 4 states? Four, something like that. I want to say, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of stuff with my kid the last couple days, and while at the same time doing house stuff. So, pardon me if my numbers are off a little bit, but I'm very excited about primaries and progressives and all that kind of stuff. Fill your boots. But if they don't get elected in the general, it's an empty victory. So again, I feel like that's our priority. And yeah. So Blanche has no chance. Well, we'll see. I agree. I think there are like 4 or 5 Republicans who might, it would benefit them in their races if they voted against him. So we'll see if that matters more than whatever their fear of the president is. And his poll numbers are so goddamn low right now that I honestly don't understand the fear. For real. Like we understand when it's 30% of the country is basically all of MAGA and shit like that, whatever. But in reality, they'll fold under because they're not gonna, those people are so fire in the belly against Democrats, they don't quite care who it is. So they're you the QAnons are going to go away. That's a lost cause. Chasing them, especially now, and like that's the new base for the Tillises and the Thunes of the world, is just dumb. And they would, it's something that Democrats have to deal with in terms of like far left versus left leaning, left of center independents. The right has the same issue with right of center independents, losing them for the MAGA vote, which again is a primary versus general issue. That this is the polarization that has been going on for quite some time. But that's the choice you make. And that's why over time, especially, we've gotten this idea where people are more radical during the primaries, and then back towards the general, they get more centrist sounding because of who they have to impress and who they have to motivate. The irony is a shit ton of primary voters. I don't know if it's as much on the Republican side, but certainly on the Democratic side, that vote very heavily in the primaries. And if they don't get their way, they don't vote in the general. Oftentimes, even if they do get their way, the amount of turnout, it's like they've done their one election for the year and they don't show up again. I'm sure there's a component of busy, you know, my people in Kentucky, like busy redneck, uh, you know, MAGA, that are like, they are like, is election today? Like, I'm sure they get wrapped up in that, but For the most part, it is more an issue that we have. It also is a factor of like the youth vote, which again, I think young people should be encouraged to vote, to participate so that they have a lifelong interest in our democracy. I don't have to agree with what gets them to the polls the first time. I just want them to keep going, and eventually, I suppose there would eh, maybe they'll come around, or their conscience will deepen over time if they voted funky, or they were just troll voting like a lot of kids voted for um, Trump that time. Again, the youth vote fervor has dimmed a little bit in the conversation. You'll notice that there's a lot of talk about 30 somethings and 40 somethings being the new generation in Congress, and not the 20-year-old upstarts, because there's a huge volume because of TPUSA, and this is why they think Charlie Kirk was silenced on the right, that those kids by and large have are vacillating through a conservative wave, right? This is the worst timeline in my lifetime. I don't know. I don't know what the rest of your life has been like or whatever, but yeah, I vote every election too, Karen, and that's what we want to encourage. Whether you win or lose, and I think there is we talk a lot about the youth vote as if they're the same every time, and they aren't, and that you can count on them voting liberal or progressive. That clearly was not the case in the last round. And you go, okay, young voters and old voters can be the most propagandized, if because especially because of social media, and like my mom's a screenager at 81. um so this idea that it, like, if more young people come out to vote, it's automatically beneficial for Democrats or some nonsense. Maybe that used to be the case, or maybe there was a wave of that, depending on who you were talking to in the 60s, 70s, early 80s, maybe. Not necessarily true. Late 80s into the 90s, that was a wave back, but there were, late 90s into early 2000s. You could argue that that was the wooden political nature of Al Gore shaved off some of the younger people who thought, Bush was the guy you'd want to have a beer with, right? That applied to younger voters as well. And you guys know this. I don't like ageism. I don't like racism, and I don't like sexism. Even if my side tries to get away with it, it's still wrong. It will always be wrong. And I noticed that even the future is female crowd kind of clam up the minute I bring up Kansas Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Megyn Kelly, Lauren Boebert, like on and on and on. Uh, this is um, I mean, I guess we could include even Blair White in that, right? Well, technically, I don't think, whatever. Um, but you see what I mean? Like, we're responsible in this situation. We're responsible for communicating our ideas effectively, championing the stuff that we have done, and motivating everybody to participate in the system, with the idea that eventually, as they gain more responsibility in their life, they gain more reasons to vote in a way that's good for everybody. And this is why, again, Josh Hawley and all these crowds, as soon as they get pinched, when SNAP benefits get cut off, all of a sudden he's concerned about these programs that Democrats started, that he was totally hateful towards, until until the government shutdown affects his state, and he realizes how many people in his, yeah. Eileen Warnock, yeah, Warnos, yeah, that's the futurist female, yeah. So he did another one. I think there was, they're having to do kind of standard um, committee hearings on price fixing and that kind of stuff. Sounds pretty normal. Like a lot of what he was saying sounded like something Elizabeth Warren would say. And that's the reality. When these people actually have to govern, they start sounding a lot more like Democrats. And the reason they just use shitty language around a lot of it, and they'll throw in some racism as red meat for their base, some anti-immigrant fervor, whatever. And this is one of the reasons why there's that kind of both parties are just two legs in the same pair of pants, that everybody's the same. It doesn't matter. There's a deep state, all that kind of stuff. The reason is because there are only so many solutions to a real problem. And there are workable solutions and there are unworkable solutions. The unworkable solution might be awesome, but it's practically impossible. And the workable one might suck, but it's better than nothing. And this is why I always go back to, like, if with Donald Trump's horse shit about Obamacare being the worst. Like, dude, if it's the worst, you can't come up with something slightly better than worst. That, I mean, nothing points out how ineffective and weak and stupid and incompetent Donald Trump is more than when he points out the policies of someone else and he can't improve on them. And like it, where he's like, they're the worst in the world. This is the worst deal ever made. This is the worst, and he doesn't have even a. He can't come up with just a smidge better than worst. What are you talking about? So, all right. Now, a couple of things. Like I said, I don't care how the primaries go. They will go as the voters vote tonight. What matters is the general, and we need at least 60 votes in the Senate over the next two cycles, or none of the stuff Trump has been doing is going to get any kind of there won't be any accountability. We love that word. Accountability. Fucking hell. Um, Nobody will go to jail. Nobody will be tried. No, none of um, the clearly illegal orders and the like that he has made will be undone. And the damage that he's done to important programs will not be undone. Um, RFK Jr. said he has no gag reflex in an interview. Why, I have no idea. Well, he's got paralyzed vocal cords, so maybe it affects the rest of his esophagus. It also might explain how he got the job in the administration. Wow, ba-bang, look out. I got it. That's not right. Throwing around that one. Can you even with the dude in the I mean, hold on. Thank you. Thank you. Look out. We need more AOCs. Well, you're not going to get them. Also, if you get an AOC, you're only going to get her in areas where you've had a Democrat forever, and they're going to end up, voting the same way that they've always voted. It'll just be a younger lady doing it. But I got to tell you, like, you're not going to get an AOC in any red state. You're really not going to get one in most purple states, at least for a generation. So what you have to do is you have to move with the voter. Again, we have a representative democracy. If you don't want that, then just say so, right? Just go ahead and say so. But which is, our DSA friends are all up in that shit. But let's jump into some of our videos tonight. And this one, I don't, I have to say, I saw this video yesterday, and considering this account that I'm going to show you has 3 million subscribers and it only has 27,000 views, makes me question whether Trump is as popular as he says he is. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, he says he has the best poll numbers he's ever had, which I agreed to this to the extent that they may. But these poll numbers are great because it might mean that his asshole supporters are finally waking up to the fact that they've been flim-flammed by a philandering, sexually assaulting fraudster. Just throwing that out there. All right, so this yeah, because here's his little truth sinkhole post. Let me screech this in here right here, and then I guess I should break this out real quick. Boink. There we go. Get out of here. There's Greg Kelly. Oh, I buried the lead. Let's shrink this down a little bit. There you go. So you can see. There you go. My real poll numbers, I love in all caps, not those made up by the fake news media, are the best they have ever been. And why wouldn't they be with the biggest tax cuts and employment numbers ever? Now, obviously, the best employment numbers ever is a factor of population, not a factor of like job security, how far your wages go, impact of inflation, all these other things that on what you're making. The fact that people are afraid to quit. One of the reasons why like recruiting is up is because under Trump, everybody's expecting, oh shit, they're gonna, one area they're gonna throw money at is the military, so you're set, right? So, and then biggest tax cuts for whom, right? um, the biggest outside investment in America, and sorry, the biggest outside investment in America, and it means foreign investment outside in, um, in world history, also gibberish. Again, he's counting the actual federal budget as outside in. What are you talking about? He says 19.2 trillion dollars. 9.2 is our actual budget. We have a shortfall, I think, of like $2 trillion. But the 9.2 is actually the federal budget, and that's the investment in America that he's talking about, and that's just paying for all the programs that taxpayers pay for and borrow money to make sure don't go anywhere. Silly. Um, and of course give his sons no bid contracts on military hardware that will no doubt fail and get our soldiers killed at some point in the future if it's ever used at all. I mean, the best thing we could hope for is that Eric's company is a complete boondoggle, never actually delivers anything, and is shut down before it can put out a shitty um, you know, uh, like pseudo passable demo of something that ends up finding its way onto the battlefield and the dip gyro fails in heat. Um, a giant victory in Venezuela. Again, we abducted their president. The denuclearization of Iran, which has not happened. A totally secure border, by the way, which is an illusion. This is just silly. Like people they found a train car full of dead people. Well, guess what? There was a train car on either side of it where the people survived and made it into the country. Donald Trump has given a pass to anybody in the hospitality industry, anybody in farming to just have as many undocumented immigrants as they want and give them a bro pass because food prices were going up and on top of oil and gas and everything chasing it upwards. So he was trying to alleviate that by like, yeah, no, 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 you can have as many as you want. Um, and unparalleled respect and success throughout the world. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Like, because they're giving him a dog and pony show when he goes to China or the Middle East. Americans are supposed to feel great about their lives because he's getting nice state dinners and they're putting his name on a building. Don't believe the radical left's fake poll numbers. Okay, the Fox News poll numbers are just as bad. They are crooked and corrupt, just like the country destroying Democrats are crooked and corrupt. Well, it's good to, I guess crooked and corrupt is what is the phrase he's trying to jam in here. Now, again, most corrupt administration in American history, hands down. Donald Trump, obviously very crooked, and so this is his turning a defensive measure into an active measure. This is where if you are in the process of committing a crime, and you're about to be caught, one of the things you can start to do a financial crime, especially obviously this doesn't work with a holding up a liquor store or something, but you accuse everyone else of dipping in and saying, I'm not the only one doing it. You guys are doing it way worse than I am, blah blah blah. So they're accusing me just because I pointed out that they were doing it, right? That's how you try and nip that criticism in the bud. And by the time they realize they've been bullshitted essentially, then you're out the door. You've already, you've left office and you've pardoned everybody. Vote Republican for greatness in America. That's a little clunky, I got to say, for the MAGA crowd right there. Vote Republican for greatness in America in all caps. Remember when the whole thing was that Republicans know how to bumper sticker and we don't? All right. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The matter is what? Your weak ego. Okay. So, Trump does this thing. He does this little thing. Hold on, let me switch back to here. Um, he does this little clamor about, "Nuh-uh, I've got great poll numbers," and they released this video on the White House account, which I don't know what's happening here. Like this really seems desperate. This is just like performative horseshit. I'll show you this. This is an ad like it's to compete with like going to the movies because there's a because Spider-Man broke all the records this weekend and something, so they're like, no, we're the blockbuster or something along like Jesus. So meanwhile, this looks like somebody did a photorealistic res of like GTA Maggot. This is like Maggot Grand Theft Auto character running around in his fucking like his sharts and his MAGA hat on backwards. This nameless, like faceless white dude running around in his sneakers in the White House, and I suppose that's like the future ballroom kind of. It's not the ballroom, but it's one of the places Trump delivers all this stuff. But that you'll see, this is really jacked up.
We come to this place for MAGA.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a spoof, I suppose, or it's not even a spoof. They're not even parodying it. They're more serious than the Nicole Kidman AMC ads.
Fight, 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 and win, win, win.
Uh-huh. Now, th so there's just nobody home at the White House? Is this where like in the ad for the movies, she's a movie star who's like in the theater seats too because we come here. I watch the movies. I'm in the movie, but I also watch them, right? That's the idea. This is just fucking weird. It's like this maggot is stalking the White House, and he just and security's just gone. He's just wandering on the property. And look at this gaudy shit. His little wall of presidents thing, which looks like it's just like the presidents are fucking golf pros. This is such Mar-a-Lago horseshit.
Need that. All of us. The indescribable feeling we get when we hear the national anthem.
Um, Again, uh, you don't think the national anthem is God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood, do you? Because also that's a really shit painting. I have no doubt that's actually in the White House. There's no question that it is, I guess. But like it looks really labored, and it looks like a shitty AI one, or that like a piece of fan art that somebody was selling at his rallies or whatever, and they just give us the original. We're gonna put it in here. Ugh. It's an AI generated painting. Jesus Christ, it looks that bad. Look at the guy behind Trump and the way Trump's face is mushed. It's weird.
Together, stronger than ever before.
Based on what? And again, this is so odd. Why are you on a magic black screen? This is like the opposite of it's like 1984. It's like the opposite of the Apple 1984 ad.
Under this administration, we're going somewhere we've never been.
Okay, this is part of a strategy I also want to point out. Trump is a mess, and he's gone for days. They took him to Camp David. He did his little performative stuff, and then he was off radar for almost 4 days. He does this at the end of the month, beginning of the month. This is his window, right? Of where he's got very few public appearances, and then he disappears for 4 or 5 days, and then he comes in and does something. He's just sitting down. The thing we saw yesterday, like so much of this is him not moving at all, more than likely with some sort of like a catheter and some sort of injection, an intravenous drip injection going in via his leg or something like that so that he can move his hands around. His hands are all like painted up and, caked on. They're taking more effort at doing the hands lately as well, which doesn't bode well for him. That means the staff is worried about what it looks like. Right. So, they show
We aren't just watching history, we're making it. Rebuilding our.
also, what is that little scan line? What are you trying to
We aren't just watching history.
It's nobody believes that's actually projected, and I don't know why. I I know they're going for it's a theater, so therefore make it look like a theater. So they put some like streaked lighting in. But it looks like they put a fucking bulletin board up in the in the boardroom, and they're just filming on it. Or are they just projecting onto a whiteboard?
We're making it, rebuilding our
And that's an effect they put in. It's so
country
funny.
better than ever. A country where we don't do heartbreak, we do victory.
Yeah, we don't do heartbreak. We do victory. So all of our dead soldiers from the Iran war. I mean, shit happens, right? Happens in war. It's been Trump's attitude. I love how he says that's the hardest part of his job is going, is greeting the coffins. Why is it the hardest part? You think it's the hardest part of his job because of the other reasons, like that other presidents have had? Or do you think it's just boring and gross and he doesn't like the criticism that goes along with it?
An America that is safer, more secure, more prosperous. And any setbacks that stand in our way,
Any setbacks that stand in our way? So we're not there yet with the prices and the interest rates and the Iran war and all these are setbacks. They're in our way.
simply makes the comeback that much sweeter. Welcome to the golden age.
God damn, this is so flaccid. It's pitiful. Like this, I mean, like this is so stupid. Hold on, I don't have my shortened version.
A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight.
I
Shadows
like
whisper in the dead of night.
this is so pitiful.
This is some bullshit.
I like,
We see through it.
honest to God, like I don't know what they're trying to attempt here other than trying to fluff the maggots. Um, it's really pitiful. But apparently, this is in relation to, yeah, White House rips Nicole Kidman ad. Oh, we got this. Oh, they're basically stealing that thing. This is Forbes. The White House rips Nicole Kidman AMC ad. We come to this place from, and by the way, rips. I think they just mean steals what they think it's going to be. Yeah, Trump administration parody. They didn't parody it. Parody would be you're making fun of it. It stars again replacing a theater for the White House and replacing some of Kidman's lines with. Honestly, they didn't parody it. They just ripped it off. They were impressed by how the sentiment works and they think it will apply to what they're doing. Yeah, they just stole it. Good Lord. So anyways, pitiful limp dick energy. I don't know why by the way, can anybody read that joke that's on the bottom of the thing upside down? Um, yeah, that's what happens when I'm walking around and I've got like an idea comes to me and I just have to write it on something and that thing was up right the other way before I moved it. And the question is, and I think it's a valuable one, is uh for is Botox a PED for poker players? Um hmm. So does anybody get this stuff? Does anybody get this stuff? Because no. So hmm, this is this is what they do when you're gonna see more of this, by the way. You're going to see more of these little ads and these kind of like fluff pieces coming out of the White House's account as Trump gets sicker and he becomes less available for stuff. Okay. So the other thing is that Trump, let's see, where is it? Yeah. Um he this is yesterday. I think that's a might got the day right. Yeah. This is yesterday. When he did this, I just want to show you the top of this because it's stupid anyways, but whatever. But they're all doing, there you go. Boom. Yeah. So one of the key things that you're going to keep seeing. So he's gone all weekend. They go to Camp David and He does one little that little gaggle in the cabinet meeting thing. Cabinet meeting is a great way to hide him not getting in and out of a chair, him not walking, people seeing his gait, his ankles, his hands, that kind of stuff. They can control the environment. So whenever he's sitting around one of those tables, they always bring the press in after everybody's gathered because they wait for the staff to arrive, right? And so he's already seated, so they don't have to show him trying to get in and out of a chair, and they leave before he gets up. Right, that's the purpose of those things. So they do one of those at Camp David, which is perfect cover for the fact that the dude is on a hard fade. And then after he comes back, everything that he's doing, um, yeah, that's right, Peter. um, this is right after he comes back, you're going to see more of these. You're going to see more of where they start these things, these gaggles with people already around him, the praise be crowd and his cabinet people already around him in a in a semicircle behind the desk in the oval. Press comes in, he does his thing. Other people are doing a lot more talking, and then the press is escorted out before he leaves. If he doesn't just stay there for a while.
Thank you for all being here as we take a major new step to support our incredible military.
Good God, it's like a fucking toddler. Thank you for all being here um, for this very important.
Something that we've been working on for a long time. I guess you could say for decades. There's never been anything like this. Today,
Never been anything like this. Nobody's ever had a program for military spouses. Nobody's ever run a program except Michelle Obama and Laura Bush and Hillary Clinton and fucking Nancy Reagan.
I'm signing an executive order to establish
Big fucking deal. The money's already allocated. You just get to name part of the spending on something that makes you look like you're doing something.
first ever presidential military spouse commission. It'll be chaired by
Remember the Blue Ribbon Commission thing that he said, like his wife would be on these blue ribbon commissions and they're useless and they just waste everybody's time and they waste taxpayer money. Ta-da!
presidential military spouse commission. It'll
And again, because they didn't call it the spouse before. They call it like military families and they deal with all the same shit. What do you, like this is he's you don't get to recreate the exact same program that happens every goddamn presidency and then just tack the name on that you like change the name and say nobody's ever done this before. This is what he does.
by Jennifer Hegseth, the wife of, and highly respected wife, I may add,
Of sorry, highly respected wife. So her in her wifely duties, she's known around campus as one of the ones who really takes it to the mat, goes the extra mile.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, both here. I also want to congratulate the new executive director of the commission, Desiree. So where's Desiree? Where are you, Desiree? You do such a good job. Desiree Thompson Sale, along with new commission member Christy Mullen, wife of Secretary of Homeland.
Sorry, new commission member. Hold on real quick.
Sale, along with new commission member Christy Mullen, wife
Mhm.
Desiree. So where's Desiree? Where are you, Desiree? You do such a good job.
So never done before. Nobody's ever done anything like this. They've been trying to do it for decades. Here's the lady who's running it in my administration, and here's a new member of the board on this committee that's been here. We just renamed it.
Desiree Thompson Sale, along with new commission member Christy Mullen, wife of Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. These are outstanding people, everyone, male and female, outstanding. The commission will also include the spouses of our wonderful service secretaries, the spouses of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the spouses of their
Sorry, the George Chiefs of Staff.
wonderful service secretaries, the spouses of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the
The George Chiefs? The George Chiefs. Is it, anybody got with that? I think he's trying to say Joint Chiefs.
of our wonderful service secretaries, the spouses of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the spouses
The George Chiefs. The George Chiefs. All right, sure. We'll give them a mulligan on that one. George Chiefs of Staff.
of their senior enlisted leaders. And we have some incredible talent. And I won't tell you these spouses, I've looked at educationally and every other way, they're amazing.
Educationally, did you?
We're also pleased to be joined by Secretary Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane. Thank you very much, Dan. America cannot have the strongest military in the world without the love and devotion of our remarkable military spouses who make the extraordinary sacrifices for our country. They really are extraordinary. Many military spouses spend months.
All right. So, yeah, somebody just said that those three dickheads do most of the talking. Yeah, they absolutely do. But the reason they do is why we're looking at this. The reason they do most of the talking is because he's falling apart, because he's slurping and slurring. He can barely read anyways, but now it's getting increasingly worse. Again, these crafted press availabilities where he is effectively flanked by a lot of like eye candy and strangers, people to look at. You know, you'll always see people in fucking cowboy hats and workers' outfits and shit like that. The reason they do that is to draw attention away from the obvious decay. Where's his spit cup? I don't know that. I'm pretty sure that tie wasn't yellow when he put it on, but yeah, it's gross. But let me show you this is just the top of it.
From their loved ones while our heroes are deployed overseas.
To doing what? What are they overseas doing? Anything that's working out? Are they coming home soon? Because basically I heard the thing they were doing is over.
Families also endure frequent moves and other unique challenges, and the challenges are legendary. They
Oh yes, legendary in their uniqueness.
write books about them.
They do. They write books about the legendary challenges of moving.
This commission will provide recommendations for improving the quality of life for military spouses so that we can better support both our military families and the entire United States Armed Forces.
Yeah, it's again an ongoing commission that is always adapting to the changes that affect the military over time. It's been around since fucking World War One.
The Commission will develop suggestions to address particular challenges in housing, employment, healthcare, education, childcare, and just about everything else you can think of.
Wow, that's a lot. So they're going to help them commune with fairies, and obviously you're going to help them sell methamphetamines with their former student. And let's see, anything else I can think of, whatever. They try to sell people their big thing on getting a grant for people to use snowshoes in the desert because it opens up a whole new market that I think you're just leaving on the table. There's anything I can think of. So we're going to put all of them in a rocket and just fire them at Neptune and see if there's any, um, any way that they can set up life there because they're just resilient. Right? They're used to moving, legendary moving challenges that they do indeed have. Anything else I can think of? There's a lot more, but some of it's dirty, and I'd rather move on.
We've never had this opportunity. We're doing it now because we've done a lot for our military. We love our.
Again, what are you talking about? You've never had this opportunity. It's a commission, asshole. You, there's money allocated for the administration to do pilot studies and commission things when they want to start stuff and not. This is just idiotic.
Every day, our administration is fighting to give our military families the support they dearly need and they deserve. As part of the great, big, beautiful bill, we provided hundreds of millions of dollars for military child care and improved housing on military bases. It's being built, much of it's being built right now.
Again, why? What are you talking about? Like they rehab buildings all the time on these The old buildings are knocked down. They have new ones. The military, one of the biggest places, they famously would hide black programs in the, black ops stuff was the whole like $600 toilet seat, which is actually about a toilet on the B-2 bombers and the like that have to be like usable in like long trips where they stay aloft for 36 hours and that kind of thing, and can pressurize it like, and like all the like it's a science experiment. It's not just a turlet, right? And then the hammers, the $500 for a hammer. Okay, that's one of the ways they used to just hide in the military budget stuff. We're building housing or whatever. So and all these hammers we bought all these hammers to drive nails, right? That used to be the old way that they did it. But they obviously work on the buildings where people live at all the military bases all the time.
Every service member received a warrior dividend of $1,776. Think of that. I wonder where we got that number. It was actually 1775. The number worked out to be 17. I said, if you add $1, we have 17. That was one of my genius ideas.
Oh, God. Again, just a total fabrication that it was 1775 and like, hey guys, if we add $1, yeah, that happened.
1976, but that was a great thing, and we've given it every member of our military hard-earned pay.
Sorry, you've given it every.
And we've given it every member of our military hard-earned pay raise.
We've given it every member of our hard-earned military a pay raise.
Given it every member of our military hard-earned pay raise. We've also given the pay raise. The commission.
We've also given the pay raise. Jesus Christ. See what I mean? Okay, so this is crucial. So he's gone for about 4 days. They take him to Camp David. He obviously is on a hard fade. They bring him back, and then they do these staged, like, I don't know, like dog and pony shows where they make him look conscious and functioning, and everybody claps for him, and they like, otherwise he won't come down to the Oval at all, probably, unless they promise him that there's going to be women standing behind him. And then let's jump ahead to the tail end of this. And all of his questions, the answer is the same shit. But he, yeah, let's get to about here.
Today's the MLB trade deadline, and there's been talk lately about a potential lockout next year. I think over salary cap concerns, salary cap. Do you support a salary cap in the MLB, and what are your?
Yeah, so we're at war in Iran. The tariffs were a bust. Like gas and food, all the prices are going up. It looks like the Fed is under Warsh is going to have to raise interest rates, which suddenly he's okay with, which is again just proves that like he can't admit he was wrong. So his guy, if his guy had, if the, well, I would say his guy, but he picked Powell as well. If his new guy has to raise rates, then it's not, he didn't make a mistake in picking that guy. This is my guy's smart because I'm smart and I picked him.
We're going to talk about that at a different time. It's a complex situation. But
no, it isn't. It's a fucking opinion. Here's what you say as president of the United States. We're staying out of it. The Major League Baseball is a private industry. The fans will speak of baseball. America loves baseball, but it's not professional baseball. It's the sport itself. Kids play it. College people play it. Teens and adults play it or whatever. And Major League Baseball is an important part of that story, but it's not the entire story. And the industry, like any other industry, has a responsibility to run itself in an effective way that doesn't gouge fans and misplace their financial priorities. Because that's when you start losing cities. That's when you start losing fans. That's when you start, shuffling teams all over the place. We can all armchair quarterback this all we want to mix metaphors sports wise. But it should stand that the federal government, unless there's a monopoly issue or unless there's a specific crime going on, if this is how they want to conduct business, it's their problem if they fail. On a personal level, do I have an opinion? Yes, but that's not what I'm at work right now. See how easy that is? You see what a great president I would make?
Too complex for me. Yeah, please. In the back.
Oh, he says it's too complex, but it's not too complex for me.
You know, it's a complex situation, but not too complex for me. Yeah, please. In the back.
Well, then why couldn't you answer it simply, dipshit? This is, again, he's just kind of like trying to salvage ego.
Nationals trading Luis Garcia to the Yankees. Do you think Brian?
Which one?
Luis Garcia from the Washington Nationals to the New York Yankees. Your New York Yankees. And what do you think of the job Brian Cashman's doing?
Well, I've known Brian Cashman for a long time. Look, he's done a good job. I think Randy Levine is great. He's a great executive. And by the way, the NIL or whatever it is very close to getting solved, college sports. And Randy Levine and Nick Saban and a whole group of people have done an unbelievable job. That was a case that should have been appealed by the NCAA. They never appealed it. Whoever ran the NCAA, they never appealed it. The original case was thrown out by a judge that knew nothing about sports. Nothing about sports.
Yeah, he doesn't have to know anything about sports. It's about the exploitation of students.
Or college sports. And that case should have been appealed. They didn't appeal it. They didn't know. I think they forgot something happened.
That's what happened. Yeah, yep. Huge case, billions of dollars ultimately in money. They just forgot. They got all time. Somebody was like, wait a minute, how many stitches are there on a football? Is it 6? Is it an even number or an odd number? I was at a bar and some guy asked me, and I honestly didn't know. Oh, fuck, dude, you forgot the appeal. God damn it. Wait, how many stitches are on a baseball? I mean, once I always have the problem. I start counting, and then I get back around. I'm like, wait a minute, did I already count this one? And then I have to go around again. It's terrible.
And college sports was and is in turmoil right now. Turmoil.
Oh, imagine. Thank God everything else is going so well.
And Randy Levine from the Yankees, the president of the Yankees, got together with a lot of people. We had it right here, 60 people that were in that world, including
in this sports world of balls,
legal people,
including legal people.
60 people that were in that world, including legal people. And from football, Nick Saban, who won 6 or 7 championships, fantastic coach and very respected, and many other people, very, very respected.
Were they very respected, though?
And we have it a bipartisan deal as of right now, so we'll see what happens. They'll be voting on it soon. I hope they get it. I hope they get it done. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
And then, boom, as soon as he says it, he's about to drop a load in his pants. So they start clearing everybody out.
Thank you for that question.
And why is it the Thule Society? Is that what we're watching? The blondes in red dresses? That's not weird. There's 2 blondes in red dresses that are supposed to show their ass to Trump as they run everybody out of the room. Is Natalie Harp off for the evening, so everybody else has to dress like I don't know, Ivanka going to Bohemian Grove prom?
I love this question.
Thank you guys. You can head out that door.
Have a good time. Thank you, everybody. Good luck.
Have a good time. That's the other thing. Have a good time. Like, he throws that like goodbye in there, and he's going bye, and he just walks away. That's another brain fart that he's going through.
Thank you.
Okay, so point being, they load him into the room. They bring the press in with all the people behind him. They put on this big display of humans, and he signs an executive order, which is not fucking. He takes 4 questions. They're all teed up. One of them was OAN. One of, excuse me, was RSBN. They take a couple from people that he knows will annoy him, and he can call them fake news and say they're the worst ever. And then a couple of softballs, and then he can call the end whenever he's done. And so, and then he sits there the whole time. Like, he's just Like this is just him. Like I mean, this is Roosevelt all over again. He's not confined to a wheelchair, but for all practical purposes, he might as well be. So just pay attention to that chat room. I'm curious um, if we're going to see an escalation of this pattern where end of the month, whatever treatment he is getting, he is going to a different place for them to get his dentist appointment when he goes to Mar-a-Lago that isn't on his schedule, but technically you can do minor surgery in a dentist's office. It's a relatively sterile environment. You can set up shop there and go, hey, on the down low, this is where he's getting his IV today. We can't do it in Mar-a-Lago because there's too many people walking around. Same thing with Camp David. He went to, I think it was Bedminster at the end of the month for like 4 or 5 days, and he's not golfing. That's the other thing. He's doing it. He's had a couple of golf outings, but for the most part, he's stopped for the most of it. So pay attention to this pattern as it grows. It looks like, to my eye, he is receiving some sort of a treatment at the end of every month, beginning of the next, in that 4 to 6 days. And again, sometimes it doesn't overlap, but it's like 4.5 weeks or so. And then he goes away, and then they bring him back out, and he does these little sit down things where he doesn't get up. He's basically like, you know, confined to the chair the entire time. And he's always slobbery and slurpy right afterwards. And then sometimes on the third day afterwards, they'll do a rally or an outside event, and he's jacked up for that. He's still slobbery and stupid, but he's more amped up. Like that's when they save up the Adderall for that day. Doc Adam needs to do a recap. He absolutely does. Because I think you can miss the forest for the trees in a lot of these, that each of these things is more of the same. It's performative and bullshit, but it shows a pattern that I think is not only starting to dawn on maggots, but I think the general populace is becoming increasingly aware of. There was that poll that came out that he does not have the mental capacity to be running the country. He's like 56%. It was the highest number yet. And I think if people watch this clip, for example, and they watched me go through this, and then came back a couple days from now and he has another one of these fucking things, and I showed you he does the exact same thing each time, gibberish, signing a page of Project 2025, holding it up like it's a fucking diaper, and then other people talk, and then they rush the press out of there and rinse repeat. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. That's the thing I think that, like, his amount of talking time is now shortening. And they are still putting, yeah, Vincent says he's still the best thing the GOP has. Yeah, that's the problem that they're in right now. They have no replacement at all. Sorry. Doc Adams said he fought tooth and nail at Camp David over treatment. That's interesting. I'd love to talk to him about it. Yeah, but he's absolutely right. Doc Adam is absolutely right that this is Camp David is now a medical facility for all practical purposes. For real. Um, and do we do Doc Adam for Surgeon General in my administration? That could be a good thing. He's great with them. He's worked with home health care and people at the end of life care. There's a lot of disease in there that you're aware of. It's Medicare and Medicaid. He'll be very aware of what that the struggles and the challenges of that are, especially when families are dealing with that stuff. It could be worse. I'm just saying. Um, let's see. Oh, you thought they took his gold leaf away? No. Um, oh yeah, and Trump claims he won the golf championship. By the way, you know how he wins the golf championships? Have you guys heard this? Do you know how he actually does? Because he doesn't compete in the actual championships. He's not even fucking there. He doesn't. He doesn't play along beside everybody else. It's absurd. A, he couldn't as president. more than likely. But what he does is he plays someplace else, and whatever he says his score was, he basically calls up and says, "What was the score? Oh yeah, I beat that on when I was playing at my other club." That's how he does it, and it's such a flaccid, tiny mushroom kind of a thing to do, and it's par for the course. It's par for the course. All right, let's jump to the next thing. Because we don't, I miss Greg Kelly when he's not around. He's a miserable little guy, and we get, Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet, is now, I guess, blaming Fauci, like a lot of other maggots, for Trump's failed final year in office. And again, it's so odd that Trump, who knows more about ISIS than the generals, he knows more about sports than the people in that area, which is what I just said, um, that he knows all that stuff, but somehow he could be that Fauci can whisper in his ear, and suddenly we've got lockdowns, and he didn't want to do it, but he had to because blah blah blah. Netanyahu can whisper in his ear, and suddenly he just takes us to war in Iran. He didn't want to, he did it, but he didn't want to. Well, at some point, maybe he he should start admitting that he's made bad decisions that he didn't, that other people talked him into. See how far that goes with MAGA. I didn't want to do this around the war, but Netanyahu said he was going to attack, and we had to. So, I didn't want our folks getting hit. So instead of pushing back on Netanyahu, I just decided to, just hit him really hard and hoped it would be over in a couple of weeks. And boy, was I wrong. Where's that fucking speech? Anyway, a constant coup is the idea that Trump was bamboozled and sucker punched by the expertise of Fauci and something. Okay, this is Greg Kelly, and this is the discovered something that no one else has found about something that no one else has about Fauci. Well, Greg Kelly on the beat.
I spent a lot of time with this guy in his diary over the weekend.
Oh, that sounds fun. Did two of you have a nice cup of cocoa and snuggle?
More than 1,000 pages. Somebody's got to do it. And I think I discovered something that no one else has.
Well, all right. There you go. Greg Kelly just patting himself on the back for doing his homework.
Even though it was hiding in plain sight.
What that? All right. It was hiding in plain sight. All right.
Actually, not even in the diary.
That, ladies and gentlemen, that is let's call it a night. No, that is classic Greg Kelly. Oh shit. I spent a week out that was hiding in plain sight. Actually, it wasn't in the. Oh my god. Okay. That I don't know that anybody could have teed that up better. Look how proud he was of himself, but it wasn't even there. Okay.
And I think I discovered something that no one else has, even though it was hiding in plain sight. Actually, not even in the diary, somewhere else, where Fauci seems to confess to the whole damn thing. It is incredible.
Okay, it's incredible. Not in the diaries, which means it's been out there forever. Everybody just missed it, especially the QAnons. All that. What happened to Greg's neck? We don't know.
Very, very incredible.
Oh, very. He's excited to tell us. Tell us, Greg. I'm waiting with bated breath. I can't believe nobody else found the part where Fauci confessed to the whole thing in some sort of publicly available document or interview, and we just missed it.
Now, first, Fauci. I think it was a constant coup. He was colluding with the Democrats. He was tripping up Trump.
Sorry, Trump is a grown man responsible for his own decisions. If he tripped up, it's because he did not look where he was going. Sorry. If if Democrats are ineffective, lazy, and stupid and weak and what have you, whatever Trump calls them, um, Trump doesn't get any he doesn't get any bragging rights for getting fucked over by them. It just means he was like, how do you? All right, this goes to the whole like Obamacare was the worst, but he can't come up with something better than the worst, right? It was in Hunter's laptop. That's right. He was hiding it the whole time.
Winking and nodding. He was doing big things and small things
Uh-huh.
to get Biden in that White House. Okay. And all this
Sorry. So, were one of the big things gain of function research and creating it in the first place, and then releasing the pathogen so that because he knew Donald Trump would fuck up the country into a cocked hat.
worked for Republican presidents, Democrat presidents. The guy is a classic lib. I've got all of his political observations about this, that, and the other thing. And
Great. So he didn't like Trump, but he was president. He was Trump was president when Fauci had his mettle tested during the biggest pandemic the world has seen since the Spanish flu, and therefore he was like, "This is my opportunity to kill a bunch of Americans, blame it on Trump by pretending by getting him to take bad advice, and which I know he will take, and say he's doing the opposite, even though he isn't." And then that way my guy will get in.
especially Trump calling him a disgrace.
Okay, that tracks.
While he was still in office, he didn't like the debate. I love the debate. He thinks the Proud Boys are white supremacists. This guy is like walking, talking fake news, walking, talking swamp, walking, talking deep state.
Look at that, deep state. Except you know his name, and obviously there aren't any famous, well-known deep state people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be deep in the state, I think.
And this is kind of funny when you think about it.
All right. When you think about it, this is kind of funny. Take it away, Greg Kelly.
Someone who has served for decades unwaveringly and given everything he has in his career in a non-biased manner, in a non-political manner.
He's not a partisan appointee, but he's a scientist at the top of his field.
It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. I am not a political person. I'm a scientist.
J. Edgar Hoover with a stethoscope.
I didn't realize he did drag. J. Edgar Hoover with a stethoscope. You wrote that down, Greg? This is your analogy. Please make this work for me. You know, I don't have a lot of hope. I don't think this is going to work out. I know I'm setting myself up for disappointment, but I just take J. Edgar Hoover with a stethoscope and sell it to me as an analogy. Let's go.
I don't know who coined that, but it's perfect for this guy.
Why? Sorry, not why is it perfect? Why isn't it stupid?
He's a bureaucrat, a nasty one.
Oh, a nasty bureaucrat. Is there another kind? I mean, do you even MAGA, bro? I'm sorry, you're telling me there are some bureaucrats that aren't nasty? What's wrong with you?
Ambition for fame and money, and he got a hell of a lot of that. All right.
Did he? He was well known and respected as a scientist, even beyond the attacks from MAGA. But Trump was the one dragging him out there going, see what he said. Like most people probably could have, I mean, maybe C. Everett Koop was the next most famous, you know, he was our Surgeon General, and he didn't have a mustache, so that stood out with a lot of people. Very 90s. But we could have ridden out the pandemic without knowing much about Fauci, right? It was, you know, Trump and his people were kind of dragging him out and then, I guess, turning on him. Maybe that was what it was.
Discovery. You know, I don't like the guy, so I didn't sit around watching the 2 or 3 movies that were made about him. I couldn't believe it that he did it in the middle of a pandemic. So here's an
Did what? I did it. I did it before, and I'll do it again. He did 3 movies, and then also, by the way, the documentaries about him and a lot of the books about him were written by your friends. I'm kidding. He doesn't have friends.
of him being not political, okay? Not political.
I got my second vaccine yesterday, and I feel like today.
We're entering what may be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set aside politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation.
Yeah, I miss having a real president too.
One nation. As the Bible said.
Whoa, Greg. Whoa, Greg. Why'd you cut off the Bible verse, Greg? Hmm? As the Bible says what? That's awfully weird, Greg. It sounds like you participated in a constant coup against Joe Biden because you didn't like him politically, so much so that you would denigrate when he quotes the Bible, when he quotes scripture, and you cut him off. You cut the audio then.
It's like this, right?
Yeah, he's watching it, hoping it comes out well, wanting him to say the right thing, I suppose. What's the big deal here? Like, what do you think he's praying to Joe Biden?
He's moved. He's about to start crying. He has a
Well, it's probably refreshing, and he's feeling a sense of exhaustion going away, knowing that he doesn't have a president who's suggesting people stick a light bulb up their ass and drink bleach.
documentary crew in his house when everybody's supposed to be social distancing. He's not wearing a mask. The crew's not wearing a mask.
Well, you don't know if the crew's wearing masks. Also, everybody there was tested. If anybody was tested and isolating, it was the people in the CDC who were running around dealing with this. Again, house by house, what have you. And he had just gotten his second shot of the vaccine.
What a scammer, huh?
No, you don't know if you just lied. Greg, buddy, chump. You just lied. You don't know if the crew's wearing masks or not. You can't fucking see them. They're on the other side of the camera. They very well may be. You can't see them, but you can't assume they aren't. He just got his second dose of the vaccine, and he's symptomatic because he more than likely got the Johnson and Johnson at that point. And so he's going to be symptomatic because of it. And I don't know, like we may find out he got the mRNA or something, and it just he had an immune response to it, like some people did for a couple of days afterwards. Immaterial to it. He was vaccinated at this point. Yeah, are you telling me that Operation Fart Steed wasn't what whoops, sorry. Whoops. Oh, where'd it go? Did it break out? Sorry. That where'd my guy go? There it is. That Operation Fart Steed.
Log. Captain's log.
There it is.
Captain's log.
I don't know why it won't play right out of the gate these days. I think it's an audio update that has to happen with my little router stuff. I'm going to do a whole new setup. I'm so excited. All right. Sorry. Sometimes the play button didn't work.
But it gets really, really wild here.
Gets wild. I'm telling you, it's wild.
Now you have to watch closely.
Okay, well, why would I have to watch closely if it's wild?
The stress of the fact that you're responsible for something that's killing a lot of people. 400,000 individual people. People were seeing their loved ones dying without even being able to be near them.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind.
Okay, who wants to guess that he says responsible for, and the way the phrase responsible for as opposed to responsible for the circumstance, like responding to it, right? That's the proper use of the English language. But do you think Greg's going to go, he admits he was responsible for it, right? That's it. Okay. I'm responsible for the thing that's killing these people, whatever. No, you're responsible for dealing with it. That's what he means. It's obviously that's what he means. And that's where Greg's going to go. This is the big, like, admission, guaranteed. Or, or it's that, or he's crying listening to someone sing Amazing Grace, and they're black, and that's his arms are crossed. So that he's crying listening to someone black sing Amazing Grace. It's because demons, it causes demons' eyes to weep if they, or burn or sting if they hear that.
But now I see.
He's clapping alone. There's some social distancing, by the way. Oh, by the way, Greg, you might not know this. Maybe one day you'll meet someone who's in television and they can tell you about it. It's called a zoom lens, and it allows you to film someone from more than 6 feet away, and it looks like you're right up next to them. Yeah, it's amazing what they can do with technology these days.
I saw this for the first time this morning.
Okay. What you were just watching PBS retrospectives, or
I had, were those real tears, And I took a good look, and yeah, tears of joy that Biden's in. And I missed the important part. I said, wait.
Whoa. First of all, fuck you, dude. Tears of joy that Biden is in? Okay. That Trump is a complete asshat and was a danger to the citizenry, and still is, and that's increasingly dawning on maggots right now. So I'm sure Tucker and all that crowd who are suddenly turning, and the Hodge twins, all the people who are turning on Trump because they're like, I can't believe he's lying, and he's been lying about all this stuff, like whatever. Those, like, that tears of revelation, I suppose, but it's obvious that he's crying tears of listening to the sound of Amazing Grace being sung because it was an incredibly stressful time, period. The weird part is that Greg thinks, like, those are, because they're real tears, that must have been political tears, which obviously just tells us about every time after Trump calls him and blathers in his ear for 15 minutes in the middle of the night randomly, because it's happened a couple of times. Greg hangs up the phone and starts crying like a baby because Trump is the father he wished he'd had, except for he was lucky that he had the father he had. Otherwise, those sexual assault charges might not have gone away.
What did he say? What the hell did that man?
That's what I said. The responsible for it.
Just say before the emotion. One more time.
Before the emotion.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
The stress of the fact that you're responsible for something that's killing a lot of people. 400,000 individual people.
Wait a minute. Did he say he was responsible for it? Right. Yeah, Greg, that's what he said. On PBS, he admitted that he created COVID-19 in a lab and didn't wash his hands when he walked down to the wet market to get a pangolin steak for dinner. You absolute tit.
Did you catch that?
No, I missed it. Tell me all about it.
We textified it, okay?
You mean you transcribed it? You textified it? Textify. Amen. Can I get a textification?
Said the
textification is not a word, Greg. No. I'm sorry. I'm not going to take what you typed up seriously now.
We textified it, okay? This is what he just said. The stress of the fact that you are responsible for something that's killing a lot of.
Yeah, that's what we know how you read it. You're adorable. I don't say this. I say this with a heavy heart, Greg, but because I know you kind of can't, but you should try harder.
400,000 individual people.
Whoa. Oh my God. How did we let this slip by? We could have arrested him on the spot. He admitted it. I don't get it. Like, how did they even the Trump administration, like, he waited until Biden was in office before he admitted that he was the guy who did it. He'd just been sworn in moments before, and so he got it in under the wire.
What is he saying here?
He's saying that he's as the head of NIAID, that he is responsible for bringing this to a close, and it's killing a lot of people and stressful trying to find your way through it. And yeah, it's like if a general said they're responsible for their troops or the war. If like I said, I'm responsible for this war, meaning his side of the troops and making sure they get through it and that they win and all that kind of stuff. Not that he started the war personally.
Is this an admission?
No, no, it's not. Go back to bed, Greg.
Because a lot of us think it would be spot on if it was.
Yeah, that's a lot of you are morons. And spot on, like if as confessions go, I think he nailed it. You know what I mean? Oh, Greg. Oh dear. So Greg thinks that the new Bohemian Grove is criminal members of the deep state go on PBS, admit their crimes, and Democratic presidents uh, pardon them so that nothing can ever be done about it. Sorry, I did that wrong. Let's see. Um, nope, I don't have it. Dun dun dun. It's on the other. I'm running this off my laptop right now. It's so sad. There's sound effects that I wish I had right away. I'm building a whole new thing where some of the ones that I want to use regularly are built into the soundboard on the. You don't need to know this. Yeah, there we go. All of this was so stupid. Okay. Meanwhile, if I can, do I have time? Oh man. There's so much to this. All right. First of all, um, remember what I said when Cash Patel went out to the Charlie Kirk murder site and got his little um women's medium jacket, which by the way would probably fit me very well. I like a taper. I've always been a big fan of Antonio Banderas's outfit in Desperado. If I could dress like that all the time, I would. That said, it's not that he wore a woman's medium jacket. It's that he yelled at everybody to get one, to get a jacket that would fit him, so he could fit in with everybody else. And the only one that fit him was that in a wonderful moment of karmic irony. And then he wanted patches for the quote unquote door kickers that Don Jr. always talks about on his jacket, even though he was never a brick agent, never carried never wore a badge, never did any of this stuff. Just a shit Trump lawyer who got put in a job that he's not qualified for. That said, apparently though, I'm not the only person that is critical of his investigatory skills. Someone else has textified it. Up on their roof. Um, Excellent choice of eye shots of Cash Patel. Just when you thought there weren't any more, hilarious, googly-eyed shots of Cash Patel, somebody manages to dig another one of them up. This is Candace. Dear Cash, you might have missed this. Now, I don't doubt that he missed everything, but I'm curious to just dive in. I'm going to needle drop it. We don't probably need the whole thing, but let's enjoy the backbiting.
Thank you, Candace. Oh my gosh, you're welcome, Officer Bagley. I'm so happy to be a pregnant person helping people who are not pregnant with their pregnancy brain. That feels good. Good old Officer Bagley, you're up. Man that finds the screwdriver on the rooftop. The screwdriver, we still don't know if a screwdriver even works for that particular gun. That part's a bit strange. We do know it has Lance Twiggs's DNA alongside Tyler Robinson's DNA.
Where has that handle been?
Unfortunately, we can't even look at the moment that this
Again, not here to yuck anybody's yum. I'm just saying to the
screwdriver is.
what extent was the I'm not the first person to bring up that screwdriver handles oftentimes ribbed for your pleasure. I don't this is so ridiculous. I'm not going to take it seriously, so you'll have to excuse me.
On the rooftop because unfortunately Officer Bagley's body cam went off at the exact wrong time. And we know he was with somebody, accompanied by somebody in plain clothes onto that rooftop when he found that screwdriver. And
at least we know it wasn't Cash Patel because he wasn't in plain clothes. It would have been had they not found a woman's medium jacket for him to wear.
I'd love to be able to ask that guy questions, but well, Officer Bagley didn't get his name or something. And I guess being an officer at UVU, you couldn't just be like, hey, can we get that footage so I can see who I was in the rooftop with for this really important moment where we find Tyler Robinson's DNA?
What footage? Apparently the body cam didn't work.
They don't get access or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's listen to some of his less than compelling moments from his testimony at the preliminary hearing. Take a listen.
Okay, so she's going through the Tyler Robinson thing.
It appears to me from reviewing your body camera that there was another individual who was with you that went to the Losi building who was in civilian clothing but appeared to have a gun. Who was that?
I don't know who he was exactly. He had a badge on, and I had somebody with me to back me up as I ran up the stairs to make sure I had somebody with me.
So you don't know what agency he's from or where he's from?
No.
And it looked like he had a pistol.
Yes.
Is that right?
A handgun, yes.
Handgun and a badge, right?
Yeah, and like I said, 10 months later, he had no desire to just go over to the campus that he works on and say, hey, could you run the tape back? I'd like to see who I was on the rooftop with.
Why? Why does it matter? It's either a matter of public record or it isn't. Certainly the person that was running up the stairs after the shooting with him with a handgun is not the person who shot Charlie Kirk with a rifle from the roof or a half a mile away from, or with a Jewish space laser or whatever the current fucking story is.
I found this incredible piece of evidence. And he explains further about the body cam losing that footage. Take a listen.
All right, your body cam footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And
obviously, you're not aware of how Jewish space lasers can interrupt the video signal and the transmissatory electrosynthesis nature of wires and battery homogenization intricately designed for electronic surveillance where the MK Ultra. That's all I got. I don't again, is anybody surprised that people in that area, that the cops don't need to really keep up on their body cams in that area, make sure that they're well charged? I mean, it's a high crime area.
Did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it I don't know, what do you have to do, charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic running around.
So
somebody didn't dock it and seat it properly, and that's why it wasn't fully charged. Gee, that never happens with electronic devices.
That 27-minute and 35-second body cam that starts when you're at the Hall of Flags and ends while...
Hi. Oh, did you bring me some footage?
We're up there eating. I bought a bunch of things.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I will be along in just one moment then. Thank you, my love. She brought me bacon. There's this place that makes like sweet, spicy candy bacon, maple bacon, or whatever. She knows I've been burning the candle at both ends and trying to light the middle. Thank you for making sure I eat. Love you.
Roof, but haven't put the crime tape up yet. That's the only body cam you have that day?
Yes.
Is it the only body cam in the area? No.
Right.
You know, people are speculating.
Uh-oh. Now? Now some speculation?
That Officer Bagley might not be telling the whole truth. You know, they say you're going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. He might be telling the truth. His body cam footage was off, how it got off, maybe not the whole truth, and the nothing but the truth. People are going, I don't know. See,
maybe he does know the guy and he doesn't want to admit who went up the steps with him because it was that guy was wearing his MK Ultra mind control belt, and that saps power from any electronic devices in the area. And if he told everybody why his camera died, they would know that he was walking around with a MK Ultra cyborg.
things. We're going to address this timeline here. Take a look at this, right?
Gilly, yes, I have eaten at the Apple Pan. One day, I will tell you about a weird date I had there a long, long time ago, before Talk Soup even.
I want to point your attention to 12:39
Excellent.
p.m.
12:39. Let's do this.
FBI agents arrive at UVU with the chiefs of police. That's what we are told. We were told it just took 16 minutes, according.
Well, real quick, there's the problem is with the rest of that sentence. Let's see if she reads the rest of it.
And Dan Bongino. And
yeah, there you go. Back up.
FBI agents arrive at UVU with the chiefs of police. That's what we are told. We were told it just took 16 minutes, according to Kash Patel and Dan Bongino in various interviews before they got there and secured the scene. So that's
yeah. There's a real problem I see here with actually believing that these guys know what the fuck is going on. Bongholio, like Kash Patel was in a butt hurry to get there himself so he could stand next to the crime scene and again lick rocks and go, he went that way, and catch the killer himself. So according to Kash Patel and Dan Bongholio in an interview, not many, the actual words, canned ass, your actual, the words matter here, and your little timeline thing you have, right? That matters. You're talking about, they're doing a preliminary hearing and an evidentiary hearing. One of the reasons why these timelines matter is who said what and why, and how seriously they were saying it at the time. In an interview, a news interview, these assholes will say anything. In a congressional or a private interview with congressional staffers and whatever people talking about this, and not under oath, also highly skeptical of anything they would say. Personally, I'm very highly skeptical of anything that they would say there. But especially if it was a TV interview where they're just bullshitting.
Or 12:44, which is when Officer Bagley testifies that he arrives on the rooftop, right? He gets onto Losi building at 12:44. He discovers that screwdriver 10 to 15 feet past the railing in the gravel. Now, let's listen to Kash Patel say.
Okay. I see what she's doing here. Okay, so they arrive. People are walking around for a half an hour finding stuff. The idea that the screwdriver was neatly placed someplace, or that it was right where Tyler Robinson had been, and he assembled it and then he threw it a little bit, or just was, or the idea that it might have gotten kicked even by people running around up there and they didn't know it was significant, that it was found, it like hidden down in some place or slid over near something, or they didn't think it was significant until they did. The idea that they got guys like this guy walking around taking an inventory of anything that's on the roof that's out of place and makes a note of it is not unusual at all.
Confusion if that's what we were told by the FBI.
Dun, dun, dun.
Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39. And
yeah, on scene is not the roof. Also, at that point, they were clearing people out. They were making sure the area was secure. That kind of stuff. Like, they didn't know where the person was. They didn't know because that person was obviously still at large. They're doing they're clearing buildings to try and find the person. Where they took the shot from is less important than where are they now with a gun? You asshole. And by the way, when I say you asshole, I don't want you to think I'm discriminating. I mean both of them.
scene.
Again, what I want to stress here is that it took 16 minutes for them to arrive on scene. That is remarkably fast, given the FBI office is actually located in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, they didn't come there straight from the office. There's people on scene or people live in the area. Their office might be in Salt Lake, but they live over there. They dispatch whoever's close, whoever's the closest.
Minute drive. It's actually incredible that they got there that quickly. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they had foreknowledge. They have a little.
Look, I keep wanting to interrupt because she's a lunatic, but I'm kind of glad that she's going after these idiots.
In a building in Provo nearby that has apparently 4 agents. So I'm stressing that because I want.
Well, they're obviously keeping an eye on Marvin and Velma, Sally Ann Kavanaugh's parents, because of their being close to Alan Stanwyck, and the fact that he was more than likely running drugs for the chief of police in Los Angeles before he asked Fletch to kill him.
Underscore, and you can come out of that, guys.
3 names I enjoyed: Marvin, Velma, and Provo.
I want to underscore that Officer Bagley went onto Low C rooftop after the feds had arrived and had secured and began securing the scene. And we can assume that the FBI is not going to allow just anybody to traverse onto Low C rooftop, right?
No, because they don't know that's exactly where the shot came from. It's not like they had a laser pointer fucking trajectory of where it happened from. Nobody spotted the runner and turned them in at that point. Within 20 minutes, they're going to look everywhere. And if he was shot from straight on, there's 3 or 4 places that the person could have been and could still be. Obviously, clearing the buildings directly across had a priority. Any of the other buildings, because the person might be hiding amongst the other students. Then eventually, if they got to the rooftop and realized from the impression where the person was, footsteps or footprints and the like, they would figure out this is where the shot came from. It's like it's so odd. Like, she has no concept of hindsight.
Or onto any rooftop for that matter, because they're looking for a potential sniper, right?
No, they're not. They're not looking for a potential sniper, and that would keep them off rooftops. You absolute asshole. Sorry. Increasingly, I don't know. Are maggots buying this shit? For real. A shooter is not a sniper, okay? And somebody who's shooting someone from that far away does not qualify as a fucking sniper, dummy. It's not a sniper. It's just a fucking hunting rifle. That's like calling a hunter.
Windows in plain clothes, jumping onto rooftops without the right credentials.
He had a badge. He had a gun. There were multiple people up there. They weren't the only 2 people on the rooftop. Stop it.
Of a manhunt for a sniper.
For an active shooter, possibly.
Yeah.
No, not a sniper. They're not looking for somebody with a giant fucking... They're not looking for Mark Wahlberg in Shooter.
Pretty good way to wind up dead, really, if you were just playing around. So this Officer Bagley story isn't exactly tracking. And like I said, he should have had access to the cameras to figure out who he was up there with. And it's just astonishing that he claims it's a plainclothes officer who just had a badge and he doesn't remember.
Because they were scouring the entire area at that point. The main guys, the guys that she's filleting and are impressed by, were the ones clearing the buildings. They sent the beat cops and the other guys to look around and secure the scene and start looking for evidence and like walking the scene.
Thinking in my head, examining the facts, that whoever he was with had to have had some rank.
Yeah, probably stank.
Feds on the scene. They would send themselves up there. They're not going to.
Barbara has an excellent question. Barbara, fantastic question. What is her theory? Oh, my dear Barbara, if we only knew. So far, it's that Erica Kirk and Donald Trump, possibly Kash Patel later, Bongholio, and the people at TPUSA that do the books and were funneling right-wing money into, to buying themselves fancy cars and stuff like that, all got together to kill him on behalf of Israel because he was insufficiently loyal. And they were worried that, looking forward, if you want to lean on her theory at all, the Mossad assassinated him with the help of Erica Kirk, his honeypot trophy wife, which is what she sells, and other people at TPUSA who are so fucking evil they set this guy up in a catbird seat to get killed. That they did this because he wasn't pushing for Israel enough. He was getting, after the bombing last year, the B-2 bombing, he was worried how that looked with MAGA, and the audience was pushing back on it. He was complaining about it. Everybody was talking about the Netanyahu whisperer effect back then, before we even started this war. And the idea is that Trump and Netanyahu knew they were going to do this, and one of the people that could drive MAGA away from supporting him, especially going into the midterms, was Charlie Kirk. So better to martyr him. That's also his wife did it. Also, the books are funky. Also, it's been a plot in some secret Fort Haktua military base that they've been developing this plan forever. Also, he was going to be president, and someone came back in a time machine and kind of those people like, if you could kill Hitler before he became Hitler, would you? Did one of those with Charlie Kirk. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Exactly. Whoops, sorry.
Some scrub officer take over. Now, lucky for Officer Bagley, I went combing through all the footage that was sent to me on September 10th, and lo and behold, Officer Bagley gets up there at 12:44. I was able to find some footage of who Officer Bagley was with. It was captured by a bystander at 12:47 p.m. Thank you, Candace.
Right. So Bagley didn't know who the person was, but his telling is legit. Who is it? CIA. What do you think? Is it a soldier from Fort Haktua?
Oh my gosh, you're welcome, Officer Bagley. I'm sure that's what you wanted. You just probably wanted to positively ID who was on the Lozy Rooftop Center with you. And despite all of the resources of the feds and UVU police and all of the cameras, you couldn't do it before that preliminary hearing when you sit down.
Why would that be a question? Wouldn't that be up to the defense and the prosecution to find that other person if they were going to use them as a material witness to anything? Was that person standing next to him when he found the screwdriver? No. So it's immaterial to the line of questioning.
And try to make sure that you...
Seriously, does she think none of us have seen an episode of Law and Order, much less all the fucking true crime?
Every possible detail.
You forgot the valves. Oh, I did forget the valves. Right. Yes. Also, Mossad may have hired an assassin, or they may have put an air compressor under his seat and used air to blow a hole in his neck. That was one of the things she floated.
But here I am to save the day.
Great.
Here is the
Who was
footage.
it?
Let's watch that. 12:47 p.m. Random person walking and they catch Lozy rooftop. Who could that be? Who is that, dear? Who? Oh, man in a plain clothes. Let's bring that closer, actually. Let's, Officer Bagley, I think that might be you.
Right. Again, why does she think this is a dunk? Anybody?
Because here you are, lower. We have a close-up of him down there wearing the hat and looks a little baldy on the side. Could be you, definitely, but we definitely can ID the other guy. Let's show them on that rooftop again. Oh, bag with the red hat. Cozy rooftop. So who is that guy in plain
Does he work for TPUSA? Is that where we're going?
clothes on Lozy with a bag and a backpack? Well, first and foremost, credit to Muppet Masher on X, who was able to identify the person. It is Officer Alan Robinson from...
So it was actually a qualified plainclothes officer with a badge and a gun. Utah State University police. I don't know why they are there. Because when they have a big event, sometimes they bring over people from other campuses, I'm guessing.
the Utah State University Department of Public Safety. Utah State University. So not even a UVU officer. Now,
Oh, fuck's sake.
this guy, in theory, is just supposed to be a part of general reinforcements on that day. A nobody. A nobody. But I'm excited that we can at least get to add this, presumably a nobody, to our ever-growing list of people who are brand new, because he had just joined the USU police force the summer before. Here is the announcement on Facebook. They announced it on Facebook that he had joined. And
Hold on. Why are we supposed to give a fuck about this? Is this really... Are they grinding their fucking teeth about this?
another weird thing that we noted while going back and reviewing that footage, but Alan Robertson, as we're going through all that early footage, he actually seems like he's the person that's immediately in charge. We're going to unpack that further this week. Very weird. We're told he's...
Why? Because in an emergency, like people start popping for space, that people start taking charge of whatever thing they're in charge. Good God. Fuck. Some dude starts broing out in the middle of something like this and barking orders. Bitch, have you ever been around me while I've had to do CPR on somebody? I'm never short with anyone. And those are the only times in my life where I'm like, hey, this is how far I can put up. I can suffer fools. I'm at this point right now, so you might want to get the fuck out of my way. Like, that's the only time I've ever talked like that to someone, where I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Go call 911 and come right back.
officer from Utah State University who was helping out at the event, maybe some crowd control.
Oh my God. Yes, that's exactly right.
Even his campus. Why would anyone listen to this dude?
Because he's loud and they're all rent-a-cops.
It's a good question, right? Why would anyone... I'd be like, this isn't your campus. More importantly, why is Officer Bagley seemingly running cover for this rookie?
Seemingly running cover. Yeah, this is totally dividing maggots. Seemingly, he just didn't. It doesn't matter. That guy's on the other side of the roof. They've been giving the part of like, hey guys, walk, look for shell casings, look for anything out of the ordinary, and there's big chunks of this roof. So they've got people working a grid. It happens all the fucking time, and it's not like they reinvent the fucking wheel. If they have a crime scene, they start looking for the place that was most likely the point of the act, whether it was inside the top floor of the building or the roof itself, and they have people walk a grid and check everything: garbage cans, gutters, anything that can be buried or looks like it might be buried, and they're supposed to take a photograph of it or stick a fucking flag in it. This is how crimes get solved. This is so lazy. It's so stupid.
Seemingly, allegedly. Kind of makes me think that
only allegedly because you're saying it. You can't say allegedly. You said it. You can say it seems to me and I'm saying it. That's not allegedly. That's not other people going, wait a fucking second. Allegedly, files, they're going to file charges against this guy. No, he's not guilty yet, but
this guy is maybe more important than Officer Bagley is letting on.
Or maybe Officer Bagley's just a beta. Who knows? What difference does it make? Both of them are walking a grid, stupid. Neither one of them is important in this situation. All the quote unquote real cops, the people who are actually they're looking for a person with a gun who's still out there. That's what they're doing. Everybody else is like, hey guys, okay, you guys are here. All security. We need you to walk the scene. And your actual campus security here. We're not talking about private security for TVUSA or whoever else. You guys are supposed to be here. You've gotten all the training almost to cop level, especially for this kind of security. We want you guys. You're from here. Walk the rooftop. Tell me if there's anything out of the ordinary.
YouTuber Nisi, who does fantastic work, by the way, was able to put through a list of several things, question marks about Officer Bagley's testimony that don't appear at second glance to be, well, nothing but the truth. Take a listen.
For fuck's sake.
So they describe a man with a badge and a pistol who went with him to the roof.
Right. There's a picture of the guy and it's this other guy.
Individual that fits that description is this red hat guy with the khaki shorts. He has a bag with a badge on it and he was walking around with a handgun. The X account Muppet Masher identified the red hat guy as...
Yeah, there was a live shooter. Somebody had killed somebody and they had not captured this person. Where is he? Where? All right. This is the whole we know Tyler Robinson ran across the thing and went across the parking lot. And why is this guy walking around with his gun out? Is he just doing this to perform for everyone so that they think we don't know that they helped make this happen? This is so stupid. This is I can't.
And Robertson.
Why did they think this is a dunk? Why? Someone please make it make sense.
And his friend in the blue shirt as Christopher Haycock. In the Life is Driving footage, you see him walking around and texting and making calls. And this really stood out to me because you don't see any other law enforcement officers doing this. Ultimately,
he's not a law enforcement officer. He's campus security, stupid. It's not the same thing. And believe me, those are the guys who would be on their phone.
Bagley's version of events just doesn't line up with the available footage. So
yes, it does. He just doesn't know the guy's name because he works at another campus and they were all working together. It would be weird if he pretended to not know the guy, even though he worked on staff. This guy works at a whole other school, but they're all wearing the same badges. He just doesn't know the fucking guy. Why is this weird?
Why lie? Allegedly, he fails to mention that the man in the red hat was the one that alerted him to the holster. He fails to mention that he...
Oh my gosh. Go bad. It's not going to go bad. This is good. She's bringing a buffet of things. Thank you. What is this? Feta honey dip on bread. This is... I'm liking this version of the show. She's like food and stupid crime. That's what I'm doing. Just Candace Owens making a complete asshat out of herself while I try different foods. These things are awesome though, by the way. Hold on. Can't have Candace's nonsense on screen when I show these things. Wait 1 second. Yeah, this is there you go. This is these deviled eggs with bacon on top of them, and I'm fairly certain they deep fry the deviled egg. Come on now. How spoiled. You have any idea how little food I've eaten? I think Summer's just worried that I'm wasting away. And that's for your mother too. It does sound so Kentucky, but you go, She didn't tell me what that is, but It's got jalapenos on it, so it should be okay. I would like to say for the record that I bring my girl coffee in bed every day. Every day. Not because I'm making myself coffee too, and I'm going up with a cup of coffee and be rude, because I don't drink coffee in the morning. Not, occasionally I do, but not on the regular. I specifically bring Summer coffee in bed every morning, and a couple of little these little cookies, the ones you get on Delta Airlines, the little cinnamon cookies. She likes those, so I found that they have them at World Market. So I found a thing of those, and true story, by God, just saying, and because that's what you do. Yes, for the every morning. If I'm not here, I feel guilty that I can't do it because I want to. So there. That's right. I am the man. That's right. Guess you actually like your partner? Yes, I do. I love her very much. And again, I do that because that's the kind of boyfriend I want to be. And I think I've been doing that since before. When did I start doing that? It's before COVID. Yeah, Biscoff. That's what they are. Thank you, Just Sino. Yeah. Um, yeah, I've been bringing those to her. I like bring her coffee in bed for at least 8 years. Yeah, since she just, she wanted coffee a couple times, and I was like, I'll get it. And then I started bringing it. I was like, this will be a nice thing. I'd like to do this. So that's what I do, because that's how you should be. Where am I? I'm in my basement. I can now actually say that. The show will not, the regular show, once everything is rebuilt, will not be done from my basement, though. This will be a different production space. The other room is upstairs. It's a spare bedroom that is too small to put a bed in. So I'm going to, um, I turn it into a studio. Um, that's a Sinistar, by the way. Get her some Biscoff cookie butter. It's the bomb. We've done that before. I don't think she's a huge fan. You want cheese on your bacon infused tater tots? Yes. I bet you grind it for. Look out. What are you talking about that you grind it for? What are you talking about? None of your business if I'm grinding something for her in the morning. Yes, it's basically an oversized walk-in closet, Driva. Yeah, it's bigger than it's longer than the room I was doing my show out of, but that room had this desk in half of it, so I could only pull the green screen down in between those two desks. So I had about five, I had I don't know, it's like 3.5 feet between desktops that I could stand between it where the green screen was and where I would shoot. And so now I can actually go back to the entire wall. So there you go. Mm, beg your pardon. So back to our regularly scheduled nuttiness. Um, by the way, she's doing this every day. One last thing. Yeah. We haven't seen Peanut Butter Dickhead in a while. I feel like we've missed them for a while. Um, you want to see how the Russian money has dried up and people are starting because they don't want to look like they were siding with the loser. How a lot of maggot media is jumping ship to support Ukraine. Some people do support Russia out of a knee-jerk reaction, like Benny Johnson. And obviously Tucker does it because he's on the payroll, looks like. And but Peanut Butter Dickhead For those of you who don't know the show, the PBD podcast, which that's what it stands for, right? Peanut Butter Dickhead, right? That's what. Um, um, I'm gonna move myself out of the way. His partner in this is so. This is Ukraine destroyed 196 Russian vessels. How Zelensky is outmaneuvering Putin. Outmaneuvering. He's kicking his sorry ass, is what he's doing.
The weirdest thing that's going on with Ukraine and Russia. I'm going to show you guys a couple.
Also, why is it weird? If you've been paying attention, the Ukrainians have been kicking ass and taking names this entire time. They've just been doing it uphill while the Russians, thought they could steamroll them.
As we get into it, do you know, according to Reuters, Ukraine reported that they hit 196 to 201 Russian vessels with their drones just in 3 weeks in July.
It's a lot.
So these are oil tankers.
Holy.
These are big ships that they control the remote. And here's what it looks like. I just want you to watch it. You're in Ukraine. Russia's the big scary monster that's got nuclear weapons and they can kill anybody. Well, they have a hard time killing Ukraine. So watch this right here. Go for it. Look at this here. Just press play. Okay? These are moments before a drone hits a Russian ship. Watch. And boom. That's one. Here's another one for you. And look at the dates right there. This is July 18th. Another one. Guy controls it all the way from Ukraine. And by the way, they got a general that his general, you know what division he runs? He runs the drone division.
Jeez.
A Ukrainian general that all he runs is the drone division. And all they do is they fly. And there's another clip that shows where drones are parked on a road waiting to get orders of where to go hit. And a Russian drone is recording that Ukrainian drones are sitting on a bridge or sitting on a road. You can keep playing these clips, by the way. Just waiting for someone to go out there and give them destination of where to go to. And they're just waiting for target.
And notice how it's hitting the engine.
And by the way, can you go type in Ukraine drone target? Just go on YouTube if you can. Type.
The most striking thing about this, and I think the important part is these jagoffs are talking about this like it's sports. They're completely useless as far as any real commentary about the reasoning, the circumstance, the military aspects of it. They're just they're looking at it like they're watching a fucking football game, and they get jazzed when they switch sides. Like, you know what? I'm actually, once my team was out of the running, I'm going with these guys. Like that's the energy that you're seeing. But the key is that these guys are, I suppose, they're either waking up to the fact that they've been, they were wrong to think Russia was immediately going to win this, in the same way that they were wrong about Trump keeping his promises or some shit like that. But now they're increasingly aware that that Ukraine is not only winning because they're not giving up, but because of the ingenious nature of their strategy and the people of Ukraine and their desire to live free and all that kind of stuff. It's very inspiring if you're not, a Russian suck up. And the important part is watching these guys come around to that. So just like obviously we don't need to dive in. These guys aren't going to say anything worth a fuck. Now, this is what I want to show you, though. Where is it? Yeah. So for all the talk about AI is going to take over the fucking world and yada, yada, that Alex Jones is on, like he's been on this big, like AI is the Bohemian Grove, is the Pentaveret, is the Illuminati's plot, the one world government run by a big floating orb, some bullshit. He certainly doesn't have a problem. Like I at least have comically silly AI slop thumbnails. That's the point. His stuff, he's trying really hard. And can I just say, why do the B-1 bombers have like Nazi hooked cross wings? See that? Is it right there? Right there. That's supposed to be a B-2 bomber that's, I guess, strafe bombing something. But the wings are tucked back instead of out, like they're the corners of a swastika. Either that's on purpose or it's just the worst shit ever, or he's been asking for so much, like he's been asking his AI to give him so many Nazi images just for his own personal use that it just automatically thinks that's what he's asking for and does that in the images a lot. And the title of this is particularly hilarious. For the 55th time, Trump says Iran has one last chance at negotiations as U.S. runs out of munitions. Does anybody think that Alex Jones thought he was going to be posting that headline when Trump won last time? Let's take a look at the instant replay. All right, this is probably going to have an ad on it. I apologize. And I don't know why. Yeah. All right.
To die tomorrow, I'd want everyone suffering from memory loss to know about this honey recipe. It might sound
Well, they wouldn't
strange,
remember.
but give me 60 seconds to explain. Memory loss is a completely reversible condition. Everything you've been told about Alzheimer's and dementia is 100% wrong.
All right. Yeah,
memory
yeah.
loss has
Why is
nothing
this
to
ad? Go away. Why is this?
do with age, genetics,
Oh my God.
or cognitive
Get
decline.
over
After
yourself.
preparing this recipe every night, you
Yeah,
won't
they're
have
just-
to worry anymore about constantly forgetting names, taking expensive Aricept, or
I've already
visiting
forgotten this ad.
neurologists. I discovered this recipe while having my breakfast and watching CNN. Dr. Sanjay Gupta came on the program and
Oh my
shared
God.
how he reversed his own father's
Please.
advanced Alzheimer's in 3 weeks with this simple honey mixture. Even famous actors
No, he did
use
not.
the same recipe and reverse their memory loss.
No, they don't.
Basically, it works because it eliminates a toxin that builds up in the brain and restores the production of the neurotransmitters responsible
Yeah,
for
it does
memory.
that just like
These
putting a honeybee in
neurotransmitters
each
called
ear and letting them
acetylcholine are the
fight it
key
out
to a
inside your
healthy
head.
memory and brain. That's when
Yes,
everything makes
acetylcholine is
sense.
important.
It sounds
but
crazy, but
it
with
does sound
honey
crazy.
and 2 ingredients you already have in your fridge, you can recover
know.
decades of memories in
Gotta
less
close
than
my
3
drapes.
weeks. This recipe works regardless
Jesus
of your
Christ.
age, body weight, or current health condition. More
That's
than
not true.
17,000
I don't
Americans
buy
have
it.
already seen
Nope.
their memories return.
No,
Their
they haven't.
thoughts clear up and
Do you remember
started
any of their names?
remembering
I don't think so.
names, stories, and smiles
Mhm.
thanks to this 15-second recipe. CNN was forced to remove the honey
Somebody put
recipe
turmeric.
video, but
Why
I
do you have
saved it and you
turmeric in
can
your
watch it by
fridge?
clicking the button below. If you're dealing with symptoms like frequent
By the way,
forgetfulness,
who has
brain
fucking
fog,
honey
or
in their
calling your
fridge? What are you
grandkids by the
doing?
wrong name, I left this free
What kind of
video for you
psychopath?
showing
A
how to
psychopath?
eliminate this
Are
brain
you?
toxin once and for all. You
Who puts
urgently
honey
need
in
to
the
watch the
refrigerator?
video by tapping the Learn More button below. In it, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, a renowned neurosurgeon and head of research at Oxford, shows
CNN
step-by-step
fake
how to
news.
prepare the mixture at home today and get back the life free from forgetfulness and
Does
brain
it?
fog you once
I don't know that I
had.
have any
It's
eye of newt.
100% natural. No
Oh my God.
stimulants, no chemicals, just honey and a few powerful ingredients you probably already have at home.
Uranium.
So if you're seeing this now, tap the
Tire
Learn
rubber.
More button below
Fish
immediately
food.
before it gets censored again.
A piece of gravel from outside.
My fellow patriots,
Oh,
the
fuck you.
first thing the globalists and the leftists do, they want to silence you, is go after your merchant accounts, go after your business payment systems. It's that simple. They try to cut off your ability to even receive money or make payments. If you are a conservative business owner, Google is watching
Or a drug
Meta,
dealer.
Facebook is watching
Or
you, Amazon,
you murder
all
for hire.
of the
Or
major
you're
big
just
tech
trying to
is
hide
watching
money
you.
from the IRS.
If you think for 1 second that they are not orchestrating and coordinating their efforts behind the scenes,
Their
to
office
take
looks
you
like shit,
offline
though.
and out of business and render you harmless to the system and the machine,
It's
you
the redhead
are
kid in the back.
wrong.
He stole your money.
Question is
He's
not
a
if,
hacker.
It's when. Stripe, Shopify,
Look behind you.
PayPal,
There was
Square. They're all part of the same big tech machine. Because once there's only one central system, they can bring in the universal credit score. The head of BlackRock, Larry Fink's been very clear. Once they have the system in place and they're close, they are going to shut down everybody
the number
that isn't
of
part
the beast.
of their
This
system.
is another.
Even
These are.
people
That's
that
totally a
aren't
chat
political.
GPT image.
This is about total control. They just got to get to the patriots that are opposing them to get to you. And first,
That's right.
UnitedPayments.com stands
And
directly in the
of course
tyrant's way. My fellow Americans,
they could
this
probably
is
just-
your call to action.
That's
Call
right.
or email
They
First
could probably
United Payments
just
now and ask them how you
kill
can
ya
protect your
and
business
save
against
themselves
the
a lot of
globalist
effort.
predatory attacks and shutdowns today. And talk to a real human here in the good old U.S. of A.
Who wants to do
by calling
that?
toll free 877-899-1313. You've got to be able
Sorry,
to have your own
I
business.
can tell from his
You've got
voice.
to be able to operate without these globalist
This
sharks
is
that's
AI.
knocking you, shutting you down. And First United Payments is the tip of the spear. Proven warriors, ladies and
AI.
gentlemen, in this fight. Online
AI
merchants,
voice.
this is the place for you. Now
They fixed
visit
it.
FirstUnitedPayments.com right now.
I don't care. Do the fucking, like, Jesus Christ.
This time, why should it be any different?
Well, you don't know. I don't know. I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give him every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see
Very tough to do what we have planned, still
what
planned.
happens, but it's a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large.
Oh my God. They were normal large. What a genius. We've already through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. You starting to get the idea why they're hiding this fucker away?
Hopefully they'll come to their senses.
Hopefully, Gail.
Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. Hopefully they'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal.
Bullshit.
That's the real truth, and everyone knows it.
No, they don't. That's nonsense. And if he says everyone knows it, that means he's lying.
Who wouldn't call?
Yeah, who wouldn't? They have to have called me. Did the people call you? Are they in the room right now?
And they found out through leaks and sleaze bags, a lot of sleaze bags, leakers. Leakers should be put in jail. They have to strengthen up the laws for leakers.
Okay. So whatever the person leaked is true, because you can't leak a lie.
But in this case, leakers helped because.
Okay, there was no leak. Like Trump just says everything. He's his own leaker. But maybe he's right. Maybe leakers should go to jail.
Severity of the attack, and Iran knew it. They knew what was coming. It was going to come last night, and it would have gone on for a long time, and there'd be essentially very little left. There'd be nothing left. And
sorry, you were gonna what, nuke the country and kill everyone in it? All 98 million of the people?
if I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live,
If I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, you don't have to be given that chance. You just don't kill people.
I want to give that chance. So I'm under no time constraint.
I put a number on 55 times. I stopped counting over a month ago because it takes some time to do it. He had said this.
Yeah, and counting is very difficult for Alex. Kudos for getting up that high.
Is Iran's last chance
Ugh.
at least 50 times.
Gee, I can't imagine why I think that video of him selling that Patriot money thing was AI, because it's brand new and he doesn't look or sound like that.
80th birthday at the UFC. So it was 51 times then. I went and counted up, and you notice later the news he reported that number. That's what it was. I actually said 55 today because I'm not gonna add it up. It's probably 60 times. I mean, what was that, like 5 weeks ago, the UFC fight, his birthday? So how many times has he said this is your last chance the last 5 weeks?
86, ironically. Yeah. That's what the 8647 meant when somebody burned it into the lawn. 86 was the number of times that he said, we're going to hit him one really hard, but we're going to call it off, even though I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. They asked me not to do it, but I'm going to do it if they don't. This is their last chance. 86 times. Yeah, that's what that meant. 86.
10 times? So it's probably for the 61st time. I don't know anymore. But I put the headline out just because you had 55 times. It's worse, okay? So 50 plus times he has said, this is your last chance. And here we're hearing, boy, we've really got a deal. Great negotiation skills. That's why Trump said, I'll totally destroy you back in the Stone Age, and then bombs for a week and then stops. No, it's because we're out of the interceptor missiles. And
no, we're out of attackums. We're low on interceptors, and Patriots are expensive. Where the attackums is the one that we're out of. That's the story that's going around.
time I point that out, the neocons go, "You're a panicking. We got plenty." It's just delusion.
Yeah, but that's what made them vote for Trump in the first place. Of course, they're delusional, dipshit. They listen to you.
Absolute delusion.
Right. I mean, is that the name of your new documentary series about yourself?
And they do it over and over and over again. And your delusion will not defeat reality. I'm not trying to make Trump fail. I'm not trying to cheerlead and say, "Look at what it is."
Excuse me. Have you not seen The Secret? This is all your fault, Alex. So this is the reality.
This is crushing our country and the world. This is going to cause illegal alien migrant flows with the fertilizer cut off, the likes of which the world's never seen. Watch. Next fall, just watch.
Oh, it froze.
This is a disaster. The globalists are happy as pigs, and you know what? Because the Great Reset's here, and now the country is going to go bankrupt.
That's so weird.
The recovery is failing, and just cheerleading around and saying that it's not
piss off
is just not true.
That's
this
so
is
weird.
killing the dollar. This is wrecking the country, making way for the New World Order.
Why is that video still playing?
And I don't.
That's so odd. That was continuing to play. I don't know what that like. This was one. You know how I just don't end up getting to like so many of these videos. Like Trump ordered them to redo the helipad. You know why? Does anybody know why? Because he wants it level with the horizon, not with the ground. So when you look out from the door or whatever, it looks level, and they don't want it landing on the grass anymore. They're putting in this helipad, and he wants the cement level with the horizon and the distance, not with what's actually flat right in front. This is flat earther kind of shit. But that's why he's doing it. It's yeah. And then we did that one, and then there was her cash patel, and then this one we didn't get to because Metaxas is a 60-minute 55. It's a 45-minute video. Yeah. There's no way we're going through this, but the right turned woke, please just and it's what's his name? Yeah, is that James Lindsay? Yeah, one of the other like early intellectual dork web right wingers that is now like, I don't know how we lost Trump, right? He's on all these channels talking about how the right went woke, which is hilarious, and I think it's because they don't support Israel or something like that. Literally, that's it. Everywhere else, they're just as awful as they've ever been. But that one issue makes them, yeah. How is this late? Yes. And then, okay, that was Greg Kelly. Excellent. All right, I'm gonna go see if there's any food left upstairs. I've still got these other things to eat, but I'm not comfortable eating on camera, quite frankly. I'm not against it. Obviously, I do it when I'm acting. I insist on really eating. I hate watch people if they ever have a burger and they pull off a piece of lettuce and they eat it in the scene. Nope. They're not in the scene. Your acting has stopped. You are looking ahead to the next take. So you are eating a little bit so that you can just, you're going to do multiple takes. So you're trying to avoid doing it. Take the bite, eat the food, you know, it's like the people who do the hot dog eating contest. That's what your day is going to be like. Just get used to the idea. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. And I don't think I'll be set up in the new space tomorrow morning. So full disclosure, my everybody knows I split custody with my kid and with his mom, and he goes back to his mom's tomorrow. He's been with me all summer, and the day he does that, and it's hard on either one of us, and it's a challenge for him, I have no doubt, because that's life. But the day that happens, I'm always a mess. So just forewarned is forearmed. It's just just real, just keeping it at 100. And so that's tomorrow, in between morning show and afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon show, I may or may not. We'll see, depending on how I feel. But I'll do the morning show, and then that'll be that. And thank you for booing me, Treva. I appreciate that. But yeah, appreciate you guys, and it's just it's just good to know that stuff. Just to be aware. It's and again, I'm lucky that my son is amazing, and I love him all the time with all my heart. And so, there are worse problems to have. So, just a heads up. That said,
Yeah. If they
we'll see
ask
how
how
the
we got it.
vote
You ain't
on
seen
Todd
nothing.
Blanche goes.
Yeah. We ain't saying nothing.
This vote was scheduled when Trump won last time.
Black bar.
Anybody who doesn't like this, maybe try voting
Can't catch this. If it looks
consistently.
too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness.
Hit that like, share the show, appreciate it.
From the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. I was young, I was dumb, I was scrolling. Type way too much, hit send, heart swollen. Now I keep receipts like a lawyer with a folder, but anything risky get hit with the tone of whole group chat. Got tails, I ain't claiming my name pop up, that's a typo, blame. Who's that in the pic, man, that ain't go strange. That's a random stranger with a very close face. Understanding my friends, I plead don't recall. If they ask for the tape, it's a missing file. If they pull up the clip, that's deep fake style. If they show me the proof, I just smile like redact this. Black ball from my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad libs, highlight, right click, boom, yeah. If it hit too close, that's a rumor I heard. If the dateline match, that's a clerical error. If the outfit match, that's a popular shirt. If the tattoo match, that's a stock photo search. I'm allergic to question, coughing the light. I just edit the ending, soften the bite. Take the worst 3 parts of the night, then slice like fun was had and we were not. Every X got a chapter I seal. Every text got a gap in the reel. I ain't lying, I'm curating the reveal. Just trimming little bits of the raw. Real deal, if you saw, you didn't. If you know, you didn't. If you talk, I'm clipping. If they ask, we glitching. Swipe that name out, crop that frame out. If it made me look foul, delete then fade out. Redact this. Black ball from my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blur that face, can't fact check the madness. Torn out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad libs, highlight, right click, boom,